What is up, YouTube? Today, I'm going to try to be a little more interesting than the other videos out there when it comes to 3D CAD modeling. I've seen a lot of them out there, and they're very boring. They're informative. They're good. They give you all the info you need, but they're kind of monotone and boring and crappy. I'm going to try not to do that, but if I do, I apologize in advance. I am only trying to help the world in large or at large, or that the world at large. Help the world at large. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just so you know, this is how it's going to be. If this is an indication on how these videos will go, this is how it's going to be. Buckle up. We're going to hit this hard. Okay. So this will be like a learn with me thing. Okay. I'm learning this thing too. I've learned a few tricks and tips and tricks that I'm going to pass to you guys. And as I learn more, I'm going to create new videos. So if you have any suggestions or any comments or anything that you want to contribute to my learning and to our learning, because I'll add it into videos if it's something that I didn't know or something that I think will help everybody else out, put it in the comments. Let me know. We're all here to help each other get become better and know more, become more knowledgeable and more awesome people to take over the world with our CAD models. All right, so Fusion 360 is what I've been preferring. It's a free, for non-commercial use, free CAD modeling software. Seems to be pretty intuitive. Seems to be relatively easy to learn and figure out. That's why I like it. First thing to notice is when you open this up, you've got this big blank area here. This little box on the corner, this is your view of your 3D space. There's nothing here, so it's hard to orient yourself, but this is what we're looking at. First thing you want to do is figure out what it is you're trying to make. I don't necessarily like to do a sketch drawing of what I'm doing outside of this program, like on a piece of paper. I think using the program itself as kind of a sketch tool works for me. But you need to know what you're doing. So if you're trying to make a solution for something, you need to know measurements on what that needs to look like. If you just go to town on this and try to make something that looks like what you're trying to make, and don't care about the measurements and stuff, then what you send to your printer probably most likely will not be what you actually wanted. It probably will not be the same dimensions that you were hoping it was going to be. So need to know what you're doing. Need to know what measurements you're dealing with as far as what you're trying to make a solution for or what you're trying to make. Once you know that, you pull this sucker up here and you can create a sketch. And the first thing that's going to ask you is what plane do you want to start this sketch on? And I'm going to start it on the floor. So from the top view down, if you look at this little cube over here, you can select different types of angles to view this. If you lose your orientation it's easy to forget where you are here and be backwards and upside down and all kinds of stuff. This looks like it just did a minute ago, but I'm off to the side. I'm on the left side now and not on the top view. Anytime you lose your way, you can hit this little house button here and it'll bring you back to the original view. And you'll see here in a second where that's important. So I want to start with the plane down here, and I'm just going to make something real basic. You've got your dimensions, your height dimension up at the top. You got your width, or however you want to look at that. You got your two dimensions. I'm just going to do 100 by 100 millimeter square, a box, something real complicated, right? No, not very complicated. Okay. This will be super easy. This is only just to get you something to start with. So I'm going to make a box with a couple pillars in it, and I'm going to show you how to actually bring that to life. A basic structure. Once you finish your sketch, you can select any of these items. You got line items, line tools, not items, tools, square tools, circle tools, all kinds of stuff in this create. And I recommend you guys go in and kind of mess with them a little bit and see what works for you. Once you finish your sketch that you are wanting to start with, hit finish sketch. Easy. And then it brought me back to that home view. Whoa, never had that happen. Okay. How do we bring this to life? Because right now it's literally just lines on a plane. Well, we're going to take this extrude button here. When you hit that, it will bring up a box and it'll ask you, number one, to select your profile that you want to extrude, or the profiles you want to extrude. I'm just going to extrude these four corners and the middle, and we're going to make some pillars here. Now, I am using a Surface Pro, Microsoft Surface Pro 10 um, i5 processor. It's not the most expensive one. It's kind of like middle of the road one, I guess. So we've got the i7 that's pretty fast and awesome from what I hear. This i5 does everything that I want it to do. I use it really just for 3D modeling, and it works very well. The touchscreen, I use that. Like right now, I'm using that to explore the 3D space of this model. And then I have a trackball mouse to my right here that I use to control the mouse. Anyway, so we're going to extrude. This is going to be a new body. So I can pull that straight up, and it tells me I'm at 40. I got 40 millimeters here. If I don't want that, anytime it's highlighted in blue, you can change that to whatever you want. Type in, I'm just going to type in 20 or 200. And see what happened there. Whoa. Okay, so now I got some real big pillars. And again, with my hand on the screen, I'm actually maneuvering my 3D space here. This is how your basic model is going to start. I mean, it doesn't have to have pillars, but anyway, you get some basic structure. So I don't want it to be that tall. I'll be here all day printing this thing. I'm just going to do 60 millimeters there. Anytime that you see this guy right here, if you grab this circle, you can add different dimensions, angles, all kinds of stuff. So if it has that option there, um, you can do more. Again, I recommend playing with this and getting an idea. So back over here, I'm going to do, this will be a new body. So if I was doing another extrusion, which we'll do here in a second, and I want it to be part of this, I could actually do it as a join. If I want these pillars to go through part of the model I've already made, I can do it as a cut. And we'll talk about all those here in 2 seconds. So for now, that's all I want to do. Just make a couple pillars, and I want those to be a new body. Boom. Got this new body. That is a sexy body. Probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, it's not very sexy. All right. If you look to the left here, I created 5 different bodies, and they're all right here. If I don't want to see one of these, I can hit the little eyeball and it'll take those out. That comes into play if you're trying to sketch something new onto one of your bodies or your planes, and you don't want, you can't see it. Like if I wanted to do something in that middle column here, I could hide these other bodies here. There we go. And then I could just mess with this one. And if I do anything to this, it won't touch anything else, any of those other bodies that are hidden. Okay, hope that makes sense. Hope all this makes sense. I apologize if it does not. So now this is basically just going to 3D print 4 pillars straight up off my hotbed. I want this all linked together. So what I need to do is I need to bring the sketch back to the front so I can see it. And I'm going to hide the bodies. I'm going to bury the bodies in the desert. I'm going to hide the bodies that I just made, and I'm going to extrude just the centerpiece here. Bring the bodies back to the foreground, and pull this up. Pull this up, and I'm going to hide that sketch again. Some of this stuff you don't have to do. I just do it to make it look easier to see, I guess. So remember that join thing I was talking about? If I made this a new body, if I hit new body here, when I went to 3D print this, all these pieces would all be separate. The piece I'm extruding right now, and all 5 of these pillars will all print separately. That's not what I want. I want these to print together, kind of like a base. I want that to be a base for these 5 pillars. So I'm going to hit join and hit OK. Now on the image here, you can see there's no gaps in the sides. There's no extra pieces. It doesn't look like there's any breaks in here. It's all one piece. If I double click on this timeline down here, covering a lot of stuff here, guys. You got to pay attention. You got your notepad, your pen? This is a lot of good stuff here. This timeline down here, this is from start, left to right, from start to where you are now, every single function that you've made. That is key to knowing, if I wanted to see where I've been here, I can hit these back arrows and it'll take me back through my steps. And you can edit this prior steps. I would caution you on editing any prior steps, because if you have something that is if it needs that prior step to figure out what your next step is based off of, you can easily mess up your entire project. So maybe mess around with that a little bit, but be very careful. I would say mess around with that before you get into a project where you have like 500 steps down here and you want to change the 3rd step and you messed up the whole thing. You've got a back arrow here to undo some functions, but you don't want to use those. You don't want to use those any more than you have to, if you can help it. I hope you're writing all this down, because I feel like I'm all over the place. All right, so I got this body here, and I was going to show you, if you want to edit one of your steps you did, I double clicked on that extrusion down here, or you can right click it and hit edit. But let's say I want to do this as a new body. I'm going to make it a new body. Okay. The difference between this and the one I just had a second ago is now you see I've got these lines, these separators. So whenever it is sent to my Cura or to the printer afterward, it'll be different. These will be all different bodies. But that's not what I want. So I'm going to right click here and I'm going to edit feature, and I'm going to make this a join and hit OK. And guess what? It's all going to be one piece. Nice. Okay, taking it a step further, I want to add I don't know, I want to add some kind of a thing on top of here. You select the plane you want to print from, just like in the beginning. You select that first, I would recommend, and I'm going to add it to this plane here, and create. And now this is the plane that I'm working with. Not this plane, this plane. So I'm going to just so you see what I'm talking about, I'm going to just make a very basic thing, and I'm going to add a little bit of flavor to that with a circle and finish sketch. All right. So let's say I want to make a hole through that pillar so I can hang this Christmas ornament. This is a Christmas ornament for someone that you do not like. If I come out, guess what? I've got this thing. Now I'm not going to hang nothing off of that. So what I want to do is I actually want to go backwards through the model. And you can see it kind of makes a red tube through it. And it automatically selects cut because it knows I'm cutting. I could hit join and it'll make the tube go the other way. But I'm going to hit cut because I said I wanted to hang this on the Christmas tree of my mortal enemy. And hit OK. And now I've got a hole through it that we can put this in the Christmas tree. Okay, that's pretty lame. But from here, you kind of get an idea, I guess, on how you can start this out, how you can make things. I'm going to do some follow-up videos. This is basically just to get you started, okay? I'm not trying to overkill here, and honestly, I'm sure I'm boring. Maybe I'm not boring. I don't know. You get up to 10. You get up to 10 models that you can be working on at any given time in Fusion 360 for the non-commercial use version. The good news about that is these are my 9 right here. This will be the 10th one if I save it. if you know you're not going to be working on something for a while, or you're, you know, whatever, you can actually change it at any time to read only. And if you want to start working on it again, you can switch it back to editable. So really, it's super awesome. I mean, it's good. I'm impressed that it's free. Um, and for someone like me, I'm not trying to make money off this. I'm doing this for me. I like making little solutions for my day to day life, and doing being able to do that for free is fantastic. I hope you learned something here. I'm going to cut this video short now. I think it's short, and stay tuned. If you liked and subscribed to my channel here, to my 3D CAD modeling channel that I'm making right now. You will catch me, or you'll be able to hear, or whatever, whenever there is an update, whenever I post new videos. And I will definitely be posting new videos. And maybe as they go on, I will get a little bit better at talking through them. Uh, that's it. Okay. Thanks for watching.